Welcome. I'm Meredith. This is the Oasis Spiritual Empowerment Tarot. All about tarot, oracle, and empowering you. And unfortunately, the audio for this video had a terrible buzzing sound, so I'm going to try to just do a voiceover, and hopefully that'll work. Otherwise, I'll re-record. But we have a fabulous unboxing from Kickstarter. We have the Urban Incantations Tarot by Leonard Jim Narciso, or Narciso, I'm so sorry. And also the Anino Lenormand. And also that one was a add-on to the Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter originally had 4 decks, and then there were various add-ons. Eventually, I'm going to get them all. I want to try, because I just adore his decks. They're all so very different and so beautiful. The quality is absolutely fabulous. So now I do read a little bit talking about Anino is a Filipino word for shadow, I believe. And I should probably be looking at it as I'm doing this, but we're going to wing it because that's the mood I'm in. But holy cow. So this deck, we're starting with the Anino Lenormand. This deck is, I would say, about standard size as far as Lenormands go. There are the really tiny ones, but this one is like the more average standard size, if that makes sense. So the quality is absolutely fabulous. All of his decks. It's a beautiful linen cardstock. Super easy to shuffle. Feels really nice in the hands. And you can probably pause it and read what I was reading to you. Yeah, maybe zoom in a little bit. And one of the nice things is he gives references for where to get more information. So look at those backs. Aren't they gorgeous? I love this deck so much. And, if you're familiar with me, you're probably aware that I'm not too keen on limited color palettes. I love this deck, though. Very, very easy to see all the details. And it just feels so earthy and nice and just wonderful. It's very grounding, this deck. It's very easy to tell what each of the cards are. Sometimes Lenormand decks can be very detailed, kind of ornate, I guess, with a lot of stuff going on, and it can take a minute to figure out what each card is. Now, I do love decks like that as well. But this one, for those who don't like that, because I know that some people don't, is a great deck because it's very easy to tell what each card is. And the level of detail in these is just superb. It really is. And the color palette is so warm and inviting and lovely. Oh, and it does have the correspondences for the playing cards. So you've got that too. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful deck. I would love big prints of a lot of these cards. It just feels so nice. Oh, look at that snake. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. And we do have 2 child cards. So we have a boy and a girl. So those are coming up. And we do have 2 man cards and 2 woman cards. As you'll see eventually. I don't even know what I'm saying there. But oh, look at the birds. I love those too. They're so, so pretty. Oh, here's the child. So there's the boy child. Which really could be a girl, you don't know. And that one is probably, definitely more like a girl, But I mean, it could be anything you want it to be. Oh, I love that fox too. And the bear. Oh my goodness. I just love this art. I really, really do. Look at the stars. So back to the man and the woman, because they're coming up soon. It does seem like we have kind of two sets of ages, which I quite like. The one man card looks like a younger man, and the other one looks a bit older, and the same is true with the women cards. So I think that is quite nice. Look at the details. See that? It's beautiful. I love that too. So, and this deck feels so good to shuffle, to lay out, to hold. Yeah, I really, really adore his decks. One day, I will learn how to correctly pronounce his name. I did actually, I tried to Google it to see how to pronounce it, and I just couldn't get it. So, see, he's got like a cane. Oh no, that's the younger guy though. So you'll see. Or I think, anyway. So there. So it feels to me like a younger and older woman. And then I feel like the guy on the left is older, even though the other one has a cane. The beard does it for me. You know, beard adds like 20 years at least. I'm just saying. I don't know if that was the intent, but that's what I get. And you may feel very differently. I don't know. But yeah, that's just my impression. And I feel like the lady with the bun is older. Just, and I know buns are very in vogue, and I wear buns all the time, but it feels like an older hairstyle. I love that sun. Look at that. Oh. It's just so, so beautifully done. I'm so happy I got this deck. And, I keep saying, I don't need any more Lenormand decks, but oh man, I am really, really loving this deck. So, and I should say, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get alerted when I post new videos. So again, I think this is where it was talking about the name. Oh, and here's one of the great things about his Lenormand decks, or at least I have the Gravenchase, which I adore. And that deck does this too. We have these additional zodiac cards that you can use, like oracle cards, or however you like. And these are just lovely. And I love this addition that we get to the Lenormand, and you can use them with the Lenormand, you can use them separately, you can add them to a reading. Maybe it might be fun if you wanted to say, you're like, I really need to feel a little more confident, a little more passionate, a little more energetic. Maybe I need to work with the fire signs, right? And pull out those cards and then do a spread based on those. I think that could be a lot of fun. And I mean, just look, these are absolutely beautiful. I love the Geminis holding hands. Just really, really. Oh, and look at the Leo. So normally, I got so excited. And normally, I don't know, Leo cards tend to not quite hit the mark for me because I'm a Leo, and I don't know, I'm a little precious about it, I guess. But I love this one. This is just absolutely fabulous to me. And then, in fact, so my rising sign is Capricorn, and Capricorn's adorable too. And my moon is Pisces. I love all of these, honestly. I think they're all just absolutely perfect. But yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun. Actually, I may have to do that. And just kind of work with the energies. And of course, between the fire signs, between the water signs, there are obviously distinctive differences. So it could be interesting to say, I need more fire in my life. What do I need? What can Leo bring me? What can, and kind of go from there. Just a thought. But so I'm shuffling. They shuffle really, really easily because, again, gorgeous linen cardstock. Just absolutely wonderful to shuffle. I love those backs too. So, and then I'm going to lay them out so you can see how they might look in a reading, in a spread. Now, I did lay them out with the zodiac cards too. Obviously, you don't have to include the zodiac cards if you're doing a a standard Lenormand spread, but I wanted to let you see and get a good feel for how they might be in a reading. Absolutely beautiful. And I'll tell you, my eyesight's not the best. It's not bad. I don't even wear glasses, but I don't know. Certain a lot of times with limited color palettes, it can be hard for me to see some of the details. I have no problem with this. I mean, you can see it's very, very clear. This is just wonderfully, wonderfully done. I mean, it's just masterful. Yeah, and I am over the moon for this deck. I really am. Yeah, and it's so easy to pick out even, and as I'm recording this, I'm watching this on a much smaller screen, and I still have no trouble picking out what each card is and everything. So, yeah, I really, really love it. And I am going to link his website in the description. Some cards are available, some decks are available, some decks are not. I hope that the Kickstarter decks will be coming up for sale on his site, but they're not there yet. So, but again, I'll link it, and hopefully we'll go from there. And so now we have the Urban Incantations Tarot. And it's a really nice box. And again, I'm probably reading the back, but yeah, you can, I'm sure, pause it and read it for yourself. Bing, stop. So my cat is wanting to snuggle, but he keeps changing positions on me. So this deck is unlike any deck I have, unlike any deck I've seen. And again, this is a great example of how the creator's art style is so diverse. It's really just so impressive how he just does such different things, and they're all exquisite and wonderful. I think that's very special. I think a lot of artists have, a particular style, which is fabulous. There's nothing wrong with that. But it just really fascinates me to see how different his art can be. Wait till you see these backs. They're super gorgeous. I wonder if I should grab the guidebook, because I'm sure I'm gonna read from it at some point. We'll see, but look at those backs. Oh, they're so pretty. And again, fabulous cardstock. And these are about dead on standard tarot size, as you can see. So my card might be a hair taller than standard, so I'm just giving you a quick look at the guidebook. And the table of contents. So it's primarily the cards in the guidebook. There's not a lot of other stuff. We get a forward, introduction, and then I think it gets right in. Yeah. So it talks, we have a good paragraph about the majors, and then a page per card. And then when it gets to the minors, I think it's the same thing. Oh no, maybe not. Yeah, so we have a paragraph about the miners themselves as a whole. And then a page, less than a page really, about each suit. But then for each card within that suit, you get a page. And it's nice we have the astrological signs in there as well. And of course we have the elemental symbols too. And I think that's about it in there. Oh, and acknowledgements. But that's it. Okay. So now on to the cards. Look how pretty they are fanned out. And I love that he does title cards. I always love a good title card with my decks. So now, this deck is so atmospheric. And the interesting thing about it is, generally, I like the suits to be very distinctive, so I can kind of see at a glance like, oh, that's wands, oh, that's cups, This doesn't do that. But I really like the way it does do things because it just seems to... Look, doesn't that remind you of a dryad? But it lends to that atmospheric quality, I feel. It's a very immersive deck. It's just bringing you into this world. And it's just so unique. It's so unique. And there's a consistency across the cards, even though the cards are definitely very distinct from one another, right? It's very easy. Sorry, my cat. It's very easy to see what each card is. They're very, very clear and beautiful. Oh, I love him. He reminds me of Frank Sinatra. I think that's what I just said too. But yeah, I don't know. He just does it so well. I love that strike. Look at that line. That is absolutely gorgeous. What a talent. So, and you can see, there's that consistency to the colors, to like the settings, but it's not hard sometimes, when decks do that and they don't make the suits distinctive in appearance, it can be hard to pick out what card is what. That is not a problem with this deck. It's very, very clear. Very easy to see all of the beautiful details. And it's just, it's so lovely. And it's unlike anything. This is the creator of Tarot de Maria Celia. Also the Vanessa Tarot. And, oh, look at that. I love that. So he's just got such a wide range, Oh, I love that. Look at that tower. Oh. And I will say that, the colors are a bit darker, but I have no trouble picking out the details. And looking at this now I'm looking at it on like maybe a third of the screen on my phone. Like that's the size that I'm looking at watching this as I record. I'm not super keen on that little kid, but he's okay. He's okay. Um, so it's a very, very small screen, and I gotta tell you, I can see the details really clearly. So that's impressive, especially with the amount of detail. It's just lovely, and I'll say, in person. Oh wait, doesn't that remind you of that song "When the Saints Come Marching Home"? You know that song? That absolutely reminds me of that. Anyway, um, in person, the cards are even more clear. You know, so I gotta figure out how to film so that it can do justice to some of these cards that just they're so much nicer in person. And this is definitely a case like that. Um, yeah, I look at that. I love the light bulb for the wands. And you know, I'll tell you, I don't usually like tarot decks that bring too much modern world into them. Um, but yeah, I think what it is a lot of times they kind of pull me out of where I need to be when I do readings. This deck doesn't do that. I don't have any problem with that. It doesn't feel incongruous. Whereas I think with some other decks, for me personally, they do when it's too modern. This is just a beautiful, beautiful blending of things. I love the matches. I mean, that's so, so perfectly done. And he's got the world on his back. That's so fabulous for the night. And you know, the interesting thing about this deck is it feels very kind of raw, like in a great way. Um, I want to call it earthy, but it's like an earthiness mixed with, well, urban, right? I mean, it lives up to its name. And it's a really unusual mixing. I don't think I've encountered another deck that did this for me. Um, yeah, it's so interesting the way it brings the real world into tarot in a way unlike any other deck I've met. Um, I wish I had better words to describe the experience because this is a very experiential deck. You know, it's this is the kind of deck that for me, reading with it is an experience, and the reading is so much more than what each card stands for. You know what I mean? And I think that this is a fabulous deck for intuitive readings. I think it's a fabulous deck for path working. It's just absolutely wonderful. And it's so unique. I love the dandelion. And look at that. Oh, that's such a powerful feeling from that card. I love that. That's so fabulous, too. And so there are certainly, strong calls to RWS, but by the same token, he put himself into this deck. I mean, clearly. Um, and really made it his own. So let me know if this voiceover bothers you. Like, it's a shame you can't hear the cards. Yeah, let me know if you think that I should have just re-recorded instead. But I figured I'd give this a try and see. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there's a grittiness. It's like you can almost touch it and taste it. And it just feels so very real. Yeah. I'm getting sucked into the cards and I'm just looking at this little bitty screen. But yeah, let me know what you think. Did you get this deck? Do you have some of his other decks? Which ones do you have? Oh, and I love the Happy Squirrel. And if you have any of his out of print decks and you're ready to let them move on, you just let me know. I will help you out. Yeah, and they shuffle beautifully, of course. Very, very easy. They feel really nice in the hands. And of course, I'm gonna lay them out. I think I am gonna pick one and read from the book. So maybe when I see, I feel like maybe I pulled the wheel, but I'm not sure. Let's see. It was the wheel. Okay, hang on. Okay, so I'll go ahead and read from the book for the Wheel of Fortune. Most of us are familiar with the concepts of the Wheel of Fortune or Lady Luck and the beliefs associated with the concepts of chance and luck have existed throughout human history. The card features a blindfolded woman with a ship's steering wheel in front of her. Rather than steer it, though, her hands are raised palm up. There is a pair of ink strokes around her, one black, the other white, one with a red dot, the other with 6 white ones. Behind her are butterflies, fluttering their wings, and their backdrop are the wheeling paths the stars traverse in the night sky. The blindfolded woman, of course, represents luck and chance, how both are achieved randomly and how fortune's favor can be steered by human hands, hence her hands not holding the wheel. The ink strokes are a play on the theme of yin and yang. In the same way, fortune may allot one thing or its opposite to one's life, good or bad, action or stillness, etc. Instead of the dots inside each stroke, I opted to use the symbols used in the face of dominoes. Again, a reference to chance. I love that, by the way. The butterflies represent a modern symbol of chance, the butterfly effect, which in turn is an aspect of chaos theory. I included the paths of the stars behind them as a cheeky reference to fortune-telling astrology, whereby people try to divine where fortune's hand will land in human matters. In readings, this card tends to give more favorable outcomes to situations and scenarios. It often refers to good fortune or positive changes, unexpected turns of events, and luck. It also relates to cycles and the cyclic nature of things, one thing leading to another in some sort of rhythmic process. It also refers to fate and the inevitability. So, I love the way the guidebook is, because it, puts us into his thought process in designing the cards, and that's always welcomed by me anyway. It's something different. It's not that standard old, well, here's keywords that everybody has heard before. You know what I mean? And I should say, so he's now using his full name for the deck. So it's not just Lenormand Narciso, it's Lenormand Marquise Narciso. Again, I'm so sorry. But yeah, so here we are laying them out so you can get a feel for how they might read for you. And notice that, again, we don't have those distinctions between the suits that, sometimes we have, whether it's colors or borders or what have you. But it's so clear what each card is, that energy that it brings. It's so easy to see and feel. And the cards are so distinct from one another, even though they have that beautiful uniformity in the world, in that underlying energy. And it's just beautifully, wonderfully done. So I am so in love with this deck. I can't even tell you. Yeah, and I'm slowly working on building up my collection of his decks. So I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now. About 6 of them. So I've barely even, scratched the surface. But yeah, they're wonderful, and they're so different. And if you want to see, I'll link my unboxings of his other decks. Just if you're curious, if you haven't seen any of his other decks before. I mean, you probably have, but maybe you haven't seen them all, because again, they're so different. If you didn't know, you might not know. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm just in a silly mood. But let me know what you think, what you like, what you'd like to see. Let me know how this voiceover is, if it's just ridiculous. I understand. Just let me know. But, yes, trying something different. Trying to salvage this video. And, yeah. So let me know. So this was Lenormand Marquise Narciso's Urban Incantations Tarot, along with the Anino Lenormand. And I absolutely adore them both. And I'm so glad I got them. And I really wish I had just gotten every single deck he offered. But one day. Oh, you know what? I bet that Lenormand would go really well with shoot, I can't think of the name. Dang it. Well, if I think of it, I'll put it in the description. Light Visions Tarot. There we go. That's the one. Anyway, let me know what you think. And until next time, just be wonderful to yourself, because you deserve the best, only the best, all the best.